Good afternoon, guys. How's everyone doing on this Friday afternoon? As you can see in front of you, you see a new deep... Is it an air fryer, Sam? Yeah. It's a new air fryer. And my missus has been on about this for about 6 months, every other day. People telling her how good they are, what you can cook in them, what they can do. So yeah, done a little bit of shopping earlier on. Went to Tesco's and thought, right, now's the moment. I'm going to buy my missus an air fryer. And yeah, look what it does, man. Look what it cooks. Air fryer, grill, roast and bake. So apparently you can do literally everything inside this device, or
even bake a cake.
Tower. Even bake a cake. So yeah, there's no excuse for me missus now not to bake me a cake. So I've just come out to my truck to finish this video off, because I'm one of them types of guys where I've got a lot of respect, I've got a lot of loyalty, I've got a lot of honour, I've got a lot of pride, and there's certain things, I'm a man's man, but there's certain things what I don't like talking about around my missus. Sorry for being a bit old school, and sorry for having them old-fashioned values, but yeah, that's the values which I do have, and that's the values which I was brought up with having. And that's what I was taught as a kid. You know, you must respect women, children and elderly people. And I've done that all of my life. I really have. And, you know, even when I was bang at it years ago, I still never, ever, ever broke them rules. Because that's the type of guy I am, guys. But yeah, I can see that the Swaleside video even, which I did yesterday, has caused quite a lot of controversy. I think that's the right words. Yeah, controversy. Yeah, not bad. Got it in one. All in one. So I said yesterday that Swaleside is the most dangerous jail in the UK, and I still stand by my word. For me, maybe not for everyone else, but for me and for probably thousands of other people across YouTube, Swaleside would have been the most dangerous jail. I see a number of people getting stabbed in there, a number of people, you know, getting viciously, violently assaulted, mainly down to drug debts, you know, or gang violence, bad blood, beef on the road, you know, because not forgetting that when you go to jail, sometimes you're going to meet your enemies, what you had outside on the road. And when you meet your enemies inside jail, what you had out on the road, you can't get away from it. You know, you can't put it off for another day. You've got to deal with it on the spot there and then. And I see quite a lot of violence around things like that, guys. I know there's a few naughty jails up in Scotland. Durham's one of them. It's always had the reputation. And do you remember the old Glasgow kiss down there? So yeah, I know that Durham's a naughty jail, and I know there is naughty jails all around the UK. But for me, you know, Swaleside has got to be, and that's because I've been in there. So, you know, these other jails, what other people are talking about, I haven't been in myself. So that's why I'm saying for me, it is Swaleside. I don't really want to implicate myself and get myself in trouble, but I see a few people getting killed in Swaleside. Not see him as in see him when it happened, but I see the bodies after. You know, I see suicides in there. I see numerous people getting stabbed, numerous people getting slashed, numerous people getting done with hot pepper sauce bottles. I bet there's quite a few on here what are familiar of them, and they're little square like glass bottles. And you'd think, you know, them places like Swaleside, they wouldn't sell things like that, items like that on the canteen sheet, because they know that it can be used for a deadly weapon. But, you know, talking about deadly weapons, there's deadly weapons all around you in Swaleside, and all around you in every other jail. And I'm going to let you into a little secret. The deadliest weapon which I come across in jail for being made out of a prison cell was a spike. And the spike was made from the bog brush. So you know how long a bog brush is. It's got to go down the toilet. What they was doing was snapping the end off the bog brush, sharpening it up on the brickwork, or taking it down to the shops, the workshops, and using the angle grinding stones, sharpening tools, because you could go through a metal detector. You know, as soon as you come off the wing at Swaleside, if you're working, you get wanded down. You've got to go through metal detectors, but they can't pick up plastic. And, you know, I have seen people getting stabbed up with these bog brushes, and I'll tell you what, the damage, what it causes is just the same as a hot poker knife. It really is. But yeah, Swaleside, man, it was absolutely a fucking war zone. It really was. How long did I spend in Swaleside? 2.5 years on one hit in Swaleside. Basically, when I got downgraded from a Cat A from Whitemore after a couple of years, probably 2.5, 3 years being on the book as a Cat A, I got sent to Swaleside. And then from Swaleside, I went to Dovegate. But Dovegate, that's a naughty jail too. Place in a place called Utoxeter. That's naughty for a BCAT. But yeah, I mean, Swaleside, basically, to get into Swaleside as an inmate, most of the time, 9 times out of 10, is for troubled inmates. It's for inmates that can't be handled in the normal prison system. So from your remand centre, wherever you get sentenced, you might get allocated to a right decent BCAT, if you're a long-termer, that is. If you're anything under 10 years or anything under 5 years, you might go straight to a CCAT. But yeah, I was a long-termer, and yeah, got downgraded from an ACAT to a BCAT. I never ever got a CCAT. I actually got out of Parker segregation unit, guys. So yeah, Swaleside was one of them jails called a dumping jail. And how you would get in there is if you couldn't be controlled in the system, you got threatened with Swaleside. And 9 times out of 10, when inmates were getting threatened of going to Swaleside, they actually opted in to go there. And that's because of everyone in Swaleside knows the score. Everyone's on the same level. Everyone knows that, you know, you could lose your life in the click of a button, a flick of a switch. You really could. It's that naughty. But, you know, all prisons are dangerous. I admit that. All prisons are dangerous. And Swaleside, you know, God, what was it like for me when I went in there? Well, I'll tell you what it was like for me. The first night when I went in there, you know, I was down reception for probably around 6 or 7 hours waiting to go onto the wing. But my co-defendant Lionel was in there, so I had a right touch. You know, I landed on my feet straight away. You know, when you've got a codie in a certain jail where you're going to, you know, you've got everything. What your codie's got, you've got. So I was lucky in that sense. But I still felt very lonely in a very, very dark place. You know, that fear factor where I knew, you know, even though I had my codie in there, I knew that I could get ironed out at the drop of an hat, because if someone couldn't do it to your face, you're going to get done from behind. It's one of them type of naughty jails. If you've got beef in here, if you've got any bad blood with anyone, you know, it's going to go off, full stop. You can't get away from it, because even if you move wings on Swaleside, say from C wing to B wing or vice versa, everyone gets put out on the exercise yards, which is a big field at once. And there's so much violence out on them fields, because, you know, you might have, say, 100 inmates out on the yard, on the field at one time, and you've only got like 2 screws, one at the entrance and one at the exit. They don't know what's going on when you're walking around that field. And a lot of the time when people were getting stabbed up in there, you know, they wasn't running to screws, so the screws wasn't even getting to know about it unless, you know, they need hospital treatment. But the slashings and the stabbings, what I see on that field, was another level. It really was. That's why for me, Swaleside is the most dangerous jail, because yeah, you've got to be on the ball, you've got to have your wits about you, you can't slip, and you know, you've got to keep, you know, if you haven't got a codie in there, if you haven't got anyone to have your back, you know, you've got to keep yourself to yourself. Don't go in there like you're some big hard man and you're the best fighting man on the wing, because I'll tell you something now, you'll get took out in a matter of minutes. And that is the dead honest truth. They don't like flash people in there, the inmates. They don't like bullies. They certainly don't like speedos and G glasses. So that's what I said to you on my last video, you know. When you land in there, if you ain't known in there, you've got to show your depths, which is your statements or your pre-cons, your pre-convictions, previous convictions. Otherwise, you're gone. You're literally gone, mate. Trust me, you're gone. But yeah, what an eerie place. What I'm going to do, guys, is I've got a few bits to be getting on with this afternoon. So I'm going to be doing a part 3 and probably a part 4. And on my next video about Swaleside, I'll let you know about the violence which I see and how bad it was, and you know what it done to the victims, how the victims, the injuries, what they got, and things like that. But I will be doing that now in a little bit, guys. Hope everyone has a good weekend. I hope you're all in the best of health, and I hope you're being lucky in life. Thank you to everyone that's landed on my channel. You're all very welcome, and of course, thank you to those that's been there with me from day one of my journey. Big shout out to you, Robert Green, mate. I'm not too sure if you're the Robert Green what I know from Croydon, a fella called Big Hands. So let me know in the comments if that's you, Colin. And there's another Colin Green, which I know too, from Croydon. And I was in Wandsworth prison with him, and he was a joker. He used to like run behind the screws, nick their hats. He'd like put his hands underneath his armpits and jump around like a monkey. Not any racist things like that. He was just joking. It was banter with him. Do you know what I mean? He'd hit the panic buttons, the alarms, and he was absolutely funny. He really was. And he was getting big old parcels, big old elephant and castles when I was with him in Wandsworth. And that was all coming through the R37A solicitor's letters, what the screws are not allowed to open. I know, how stupid and how crazy. What a fucking slip in the net, what a hole, what a crack in the floor where screws will give it inmates, R37A letters, not allowed, the screws are not allowed to open them. They've got to be opened by the inmate. You know, you might have to open it in front of a screw, but the parcels, the gear was getting stuck to the back of the pages. So, you know, when a chap, what I'm not gonna mention her, was getting the parcels, he was just opening the letter up in front of him, dropping a page down, not flipping it over, and copping large parcels, man. And yeah, he was a bundle of joy. Let me know if that's you, Colin, in the comments underneath. If it was you, I'm sure you was doing 6 years then. Do you remember? Anyway, guys, have a good weekend, everyone. Peace.